Former rapper known as Hurricane Chris is charged with second-degree murder. Shreveport police say 31-year-old Christopher Dooley was arrested for fatally shooting a man outside of a gas station early this morning. Police were called to the Texaco on Hollywood Avenue just after 1 a.m. Officers found a man who had been shot multiple times. He was taken to Ochsner LSU Health, where he died from his injuries. Investigators say Dooley made claims of self-defense after an alleged struggle over his vehicle. But detectives say the surveillance video shows Dooley did not act in self-defense, and the vehicle was actually reported stolen out of Texas.
Hurricane Chris caught a body and was acquitted on second-degree murder by a jury of 12 due to self-defense. So apparently, Hurricane Chris was at a gas station in Shreveport, Louisiana, where he noticed the dude open his Mercedes door looking for shit to steal. So Chris ran up on him with the gun out, and the dude proceeded to make threats and reach deep inside his pants like he had something, which led to Chris shooting him 6 times, where the dude later lost his life in the hospital. And just to make it official, I'm gonna give y'all the actual footage of the event so y'all can see how it transpired and listen to how the media painting the picture. And then I'm gonna shoot you a clip of Hurricane Chris himself telling his side of the story. After that, I'm gonna tell y'all how he beat the shit. Check this out.
June 19th of 2020, both arrived at the Texaco minutes apart. Ferris approached a vehicle that had been driven by Dooley and opened the Mercedes S-Class door. That car, the state argued, was owned by Dooley's ex-girlfriend.
Y'all see that? Just keep looking, you'll see him back away.
Dooley then approached Ferris and drew his weapon. Dooley is off camera in this frame of the video, but has his weapon drawn and aimed at Ferris. One state's witness spoke about seeing the two men and Dooley looking scared and says he told the clerk there might be a problem outside. Following his purchase, the witness says he returned to his vehicle, and after hearing gunshots, he left the Texaco, he says, trying to put the incident out of his mind. 2023 is the first time authorities reached out to that witness for a statement. Nearly 2 minutes after Dooley and Ferris encountered each other, Dooley fired the weapon, hitting Ferris 6 times, leaving him to bleed out on the ground. Dooley left the Texaco briefly before calling 911 and returned to the Texaco to turn himself in to police on scene.
So we all know it's 3 sides to every story. Yours, theirs, and the truth. And we also know that the media will give the narrative to a situation how they see fit, which ain't always right. So let's listen to Hurricane Chris tell his side.
I get out of the car at the Texaco. I talked to some people I know for a while, and we just standing outside. Something I do in my community very often. If I see somebody I know, we might stand there until the cows come home just talking. It's the area that I was raised in, and I know almost every face. So, I mean, it's just something I'm comfortable doing. And as we were standing outside talking, somebody started breaking into the car, opening the car door. I run to my car. When I run to my car, I see him at my car door. He didn't open my car. I got an AR-15 inside the vehicle. He didn't open it. It's right on the front seat. I approached with my weapon drawn, saying, step away from the vehicle. Immediately, now, step away from the vehicle. As I'm saying this, he take a step towards me and start uttering stuff out of his mouth. Threats and a bunch of other stuff that I couldn't understand. Stuff that I could understand about what he would do to me, and shooting me, killing me. And things I didn't understand, which was a bunch of mumbling, which witnesses testified to as well. At that moment, I take a step back to try to create some space in between us. Because I got a weapon drawn, and at this moment, I don't want you to get too close and attempt to disarm me. So I take a step back. And if I ever give you the footage, that's where you'll see I'm not in the camera frame no more. At this point, he's standing there, continue mumbling, making threats out of his mouth. I keep my weapon trained on him, saying, step away from the vehicle. I even yell for anybody else that's in the parking lot, hey, y'all, run around behind him, because he's reaching towards his pocket at this point. So I'm yelling for people to run around behind him and look and see what that is he's reaching for in his pocket, like. And at the same time, I'm steady commanding him, get your hands away from your pocket, step away from the vehicle. In the midst of that, he continued to utter threats, put his hand by his pocket. Now, my life is flashing before my eyes like it ain't never flashed before. I'm standing in front of you with a weapon drawn, and your reaction is to look at me, utter a threat, take a step closer to me, and then dig into your pocket. So you know what's going through my mind. Oh, I done ran into a real problem. And it's not like I react instantly and use force instantly. I plead with him for over a minute to get your hands away from your pocket and step away from the vehicle, which witnesses testified to as well. A guy that was walking in the store and walking out of the store heard this. So when he walked in, I was telling him to get away from the car. When he walked out, I was still commanding him to step away from the car and get his hands away from his pocket. Witnesses say he heard a man say, "I don't know what you got in your pocket. Get your hands away from your pocket." He continued to reach into his pocket, dug deeper while making threats and while I was commanding him not to go any further into his pocket. And that's when I had to use force and fear of my life, you know. What happened was, it was a fucked up situation, Vlad, because when the police came, they were supposed to have enough sense to know. All we gotta do is run the video back and see what happened. I told them everything that happened. I stayed on the scene. I dialed 911. They still tried to find a way to use my words against me and arrest me, bro.
All right, so after seeing and hearing all that, when the video over, leave how y'all feel about this whole situation in the comments. But this shit ain't rocket science. It's clear how he beat this whole case. Self-defense. Louisiana has a stand your ground law which removes the duty to retreat from any place a person has the right to be before using force in self-defense. The law specifically prohibits considering the possibility of retreat as a factor when determining the reasonableness or necessity of force. In other words, in Louisiana, you ain't gotta back down in any shape, form, or fashion. You can straight bust them. And guess what? Louisiana law say a homicide is justifiable when committed in self-defense by one who reasonably believes he is in imminent danger of losing his life or receiving bodily harm, and that the killing is necessary to save him from that danger. And that situation fit the description of all that. I see how he beat it now, and I hope y'all do too. So look, before I get up out of here, I just want to tell all my peoples, go get a legit joint, read your state laws, because if you got to do it one day, you'll be justified. You know what I'm saying? So look, protect yourself out here. It's a crazy world. Until next video, peace.
I just want to live my life to the fullest, to the fullest, to the fullest, to the fullest. I just want to live it to the fullest.